Hello everyone, welcome to the course Database Management System. In this lecture, we will see the comparison of file system and database systems. First, file system versus database system, then disadvantages of file system, then what are the advantages of database system. As we know, the traditional file-oriented approach to information processing has a separate master file and its own set of personal files for each application. This is the approach followed in file-oriented approach. Any organization, what it requires, flow of information across its various applications also. And this requires sharing of data, which is significantly lacking in the traditional approach, that is file-oriented approach. If you can see this diagram, this shows the role of database system. Before this, let us see the file-oriented system, the traditional approach. For example, in the departmental store, you are having various departments. One is personnel department, second one sales department, third one accounting department. Each department, what it contains, suppose personnel department contains employees, sales department contains 3 pods, customers, sales, inventory, whereas accounting department contains accounts. Now you can see all are independent. For every department, you are having separate associated files. There is no interrelation or connection among one department to another department. If you want to connect across all these 3 departments, we have to separately take the files. So that's why in each application, separate file is available, but it can't share across other databases. So this is the traditional file-oriented approach, how it will be following. Whereas coming to our database approach, in database you can see the same stores department. We are having personnel department, sales department, accounting department. Here all are interconnected through a database management system. Now the database system, a database management system, which takes the information about personnel department, sales department and accounting department, that can be integrated and stored commonly in one database. So what it contains: employees information, customers information, sales information, inventory information, accounts information. This is the advantage of database management system comparing to traditional file-oriented approach. So this is the glance of the comparison of file system versus database management system. With this now, we will see what are the drawbacks or disadvantages of file system. Then finally, what are the advantages or benefits of database system, that we will see. Okay, first coming to disadvantages of a file system. So file-based approaches, which came into being with the first commercial applications of computers, suffered from the following significant disadvantages. These are all the disadvantages of file system. The first one is data redundancy. Here, what is the meaning of data redundancy? Same information is duplicated in several files. This makes data redundancy. The second disadvantage of file system is data inconsistency. What is meaning of data inconsistency? Different copies of the same data are not matching, which means different versions of same basic data are existing. This occurs as the result of update operations that are not updating the same data stored at different places. For example, if we can take address information of a particular customer, which is recorded differently in different files. The address is different in different files. So that is the data inconsistency. The third disadvantage is difficulty in accessing data. It is not easy to retrieve information using a conventional file processing system. Convenient and efficient information retrieval is almost impossible by using conventional file system. Then another disadvantage is data isolation. Here data are scattered in various files and the files may be in different formats. Whenever we are writing new application programs to retrieve data, this is very difficult task. The next problem is integrity problems. Here, the data values may need to satisfy some integrity constraints, conditions. For example, the balance field value must be greater than 10,000 rupees. One has to handle this through program code in file processing system. But in database, user can declare the integrity constraints along with definition itself. Whereas in file system, you have to handle by program code. Whereas in database, you can declare the integrity constraint along with the definition itself by using the condition. The next drawback of file system is atomicity problems. What is atomicity actually? It is refers to the property of a database transaction where all the actions within the transaction are executed as a single individual unit of work. That is the atomicity. But in file system, it is very difficult to ensure atomicity. For example, if you want to transfer 500 rupees from account A to account B, if a failure occurs during execution, there could be a situation like the 500 rupees is deducted from the source account A and not credited in the destination account B. This is the situation where failure occurs. This problem is called as atomicity problem in file system. Then another disadvantage is concurrent access anomalies. Suppose if multiple users are updating the same data simultaneously at the same time, it will result in inconsistent data state. In file processing system, it is very difficult to handle this using program code. This result in concurrent access anomalies. The next drawback is security problems. Enforcing security constraints in file processing system is a very difficult task as the application programs are added to the system in an ad hoc manner. So that is the security problem occurred in file system. Okay, then finally, if you can see the summarized format of comparison of file system and database system based on some factors. The following table shows the comparison between file system and database systems based on first data redundancy. For file system, it is very high. For database system, it is minimal. Data inconsistency for file system is possible. Database system, it can be avoided. Data access in file system is not easy, whereas in database system, it is convenient and efficient. Data isolation is exist in file system. Data isolation is not exist in database system. Data sharing is minimal in file system. Data sharing is maximal in database system. Such capability is minimal in file system. Such capability is maximal in database system. Security is minimal in file system. Security is maximal in database system. Concurrent access in file system has a minimal effect, whereas in database system, it has maximal effect. These are all the summarized comparison between file system and database system based on these factors. Then coming to whatever the drawbacks or disadvantages of file system, those can be overcome in database systems, that is database management system. Those are all called as advantages of database management system. The first one is data redundancy can be reduced. In a database system, the redundancy of the data which can be controlled, and the system is aware of the redundancy and assumes the responsibility for propagating updates, means automatic change at other places in case of duplicate data. Then the second advantage of database management system, data inconsistency can be avoided. If the redundancy is controlled, then automatically the inconsistency is controlled. Inconsistency means the mismatch in the two entries with the same data. It must be avoided to get correct information. The third advantage of database management system, data can be shared. It means the data requirements of the new application may be satisfied without creating any new stored files. New applications operate on the same stored data. Then next advantage of database management system, standards can be enforced. The applicable standards like company-based, installation related, departmental related, industry standard, national and international standards are followed in the representation of the data. Also, it is useful for data interchange or migration between systems. The next advantage is security restrictions can be applied. The access to the database is through proper channels and authorization checks are carried out whenever access to sensitive data, which is desired. Then next advantage is integrity can be maintained. It means ensuring that the data in the database is accurate. As the database is shared, so data integrity is very important. These are all some of the advantages of database management system. Hope this information is useful. In next upcoming videos, we will see the other latest topics. Stay tuned for latest updates.